Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kastuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Nashville, Tennessee. Nash Vegas, they call it. This is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastuba Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome. It's Monday. We're back to the grind of the material world. We're here at Cindy's house with the crew. We got, you know what we have here? We have a bunch of cold plunge bullies here. They're trying to bully me and Mara into cold plunging.
Oh,
Cindy, the bride and the groom, and Stephen Heffernan. And
I've been cold plunging like crazy since I went to Rishikesh. And
no, you haven't. No, they've got a cold plunge machine. It's like the equivalent of getting into one of those freezers you keep in your basement. It's like the water's
Rishikesh is pretty cold.
Really cold? It's not this cold.
Yeah.
You got to get up higher to Gangotri, then bathe, then tell me about it.
All right.
They sit in there, they chant Hare Krishna. They're in there for like 4 minutes, losing their mind. Then they're doing jumping jacks and Tai Chi to warm up. But anyway, we had a great wedding this weekend. Doyal was here. It was like a Wisdom of the Sages reunion.
We talked about this yesterday, Raghunath.
I'm sorry.
Not that
we're still coming.
I'm just letting you know.
Yesterday
so
was
don't...
hanging out with everybody, and that was very nice. We had a kirtan yesterday. We had a 3-hour kirtan potluck thing here. It was just a special, sweet weekend.
Nice.
It is nice. Kirtan's nice. People, we have nice. I say this on a regular basis. I've got great people in my life.
There you go.
And our life is all about having great people in our life. And sometimes people, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Just
what's going
sometimes
on? What's going on? You're in Vrindavan now.
I left Govardhan, just arrived here about an hour ago.
I
had a wonderful time in Govardhan, the whole thing. And then this morning, I just wandered out to the hill.
Yeah.
I just sat by the hill and I chanted and I prayed and I could look. And practically I could see like those paintings where Krishna's coming with the cows, coming back from Govardhan. If you get up close to it, you can feel that. I was rolling around in the dust. I was having a wonderful morning. It's a wonderful morning.
So for those who don't know, Govardhan is about 45 minutes from the town of Vrindavan, where Kastuba is staying at now.
That's where I am now.
And did you walk around Vrindavan this morning? Oh, no, because
I got here. I just got here.
But you'll do that tomorrow's your last day in India.
Tomorrow's my last full day. And then I leave Vrindavan about 3 p.m, then the following day.
Oh, wow. All right.
So you're suggesting I do the Vrindavan Prikrama?
Only if you go very early. Because you and me, we have the taste of the old Prikrama. And so now they built a road on the Cowherd Boy Trail, and it can get noisy, and it can for people like you and me, it can break our hearts a little bit.
Yeah, I know. I think what I'll do is I won't do tomorrow because there's a lot of places I want to go, so I'll be walking around all day. But maybe the morning before I leave, I'll do it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Meander.
Yeah.
Meander. One fun thing about Vrindavan is meandering into just random temples.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing.
specific temples and random temples, because there's
Today I
always
was just
there's always some undiscovered temple. You know what a good thing to do is? Have you been to
tell me.
Shambhari Muni's ashram?
I think a long time
Okay,
ago,
it's great, and it's a great japa walk too. You go down the trail,
Prikrama Marg.
the Prikram Marg, where you take a right at the Varaha Ghat.
You take a
You
left.
take a left, and you just keep walking that road, and it gets really rural and beautiful.
Mm.
Do
It's a
that, or
beautiful area.
get in a boat at the Yamuna and go into Lakshmivan. It's like you're in a whole other world.
Get on a boat.
Get in a boat, cross the river, and go to Lakshmivan.
All right. I don't have a lot of time here, so mostly what I want to do in Vrindavan, there's a couple things.
Yeah.
I want to chant with the devotees in the kirtan in the evenings in the temple,
Yeah.
and attend Mangalarti. I'd like to do that, and because so many memories with that, huh?
Yeah.
The most beautiful deities in the world. I mean,
It is beautiful.
and Krishna Balaram, Shri Shri Radha Shyama. So Mangalartis in the morning, kirtans in the evenings. Then I want to go to the temples and the samadhis of the Goswamis, especially. I want to go to Madan Mohan Temple. I want to pray to Sanam Goswami. I want to go to Radha Damodar Temple. I want to pray to Rupa and Jiva. These
I like what you're
these great
thinking.
souls, yeah, they mean so much to me. And I'm writing, and they are the very source of all of our teachings in our sampradaya, and the great writers and the great communicators of bhakti. So I want to seek their blessings. So that's how I want to.
I could give you a little insight if you like.
Yes,
you can
yes.
go to the
Share.
Granta Samadhi and pray
Oh,
for
yes, Granta
spiritual
Samadhi.
downloads of the secret Samadhi to
Okay.
the Samadhi that the world's not ready for, that has all the secret literatures entombed.
So should I just like
Hold
roll around it?
You put your forehead to it and you say, "Please enter my heart," like you did for Raghunath. Let's see what the Samadhi gives back to you.
So you've got it all inside you now?
Yeah.
Granta. Secret Grantas. Secret ancient
Secret
texts. These were great, so esoteric were these texts that they said nobody's really ready for these. We need to put them in the samadhi, put them in the tomb.
Yeah.
And that's where they are.
What are they about?
I know, but the problem, you see, Raghunath, you think, I want to see, but my inclination is that if I did, I wouldn't be able to understand them. I wouldn't be able to.
You have to pray for the understanding, bro.
Well, you don't have to have the books out of the samadhi for then. You can just get the understanding without them.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. What's going on today, Mara?
We got Bhakti recovery group meetings online going on at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 9 p.m. Eastern time. And in-person meetings in Mayapur this evening. And then tomorrow's show will be the same time, so 7 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
Oh. All
We got
right.
Mayapur, we got Alachua, in New York. Live meetings.
All right.
You ready? We got to start a new chapter today. Oh, no, we got a nugget first, though.
Okay.
You got it?
Mara's
Did you
pulling it
get
up.
the nugget? Okay.
All right, this is from your friend of mine, Steve Jobs.
Is it Jobs?
Steve Jobs?
I believe so.
I thought it was Jobs. They're all laughing at me. It's not
No,
Jobs?
Jobs.
Oh, they're all laughing at me. I've been calling him Jobs all these years.
I think everybody knows who he is, although apparently not everybody knows how to pronounce his name.
Yeah. Okay.
Steve Jobs, I think.
All right. So this is what he says.
Just in case people don't know, who is he, Raghunath?
He's the founder of Apple Computers.
The founder, I guess he was the CEO until he passed away, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And supposedly as a young man, he traveled around India, was a raw foodist. Do you know that?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I do know this, that when he was in college, he used to go to the local Krishna temples in California, I think.
I thought it was Gainesville.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
I thought it was California, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
And he even spoke about it and said, they really, were a lifesaver.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So he says,
Read this. Read it nice. Read it nice.
see, now when you say Apple computers, it means something more. Vegetarian and a raw foodist. Okay. That's been one of my mantras. Focus and simplicity.
Focus and simplicity. That's the mantra.
Simple can be harder than complex. Yeah. You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple.
Mm.
But it's worth it in the end because once you get there, you can move mountains. That's a great statement.
You like that one, Roga?
Well, this is what, sutras are all about. They're codified little nuggets of truth that you can expand upon. So simple, focus, and simplicity. Say a few words. You don't have to speak volumes. When someone really knows something. This is what I'm always impressed about devotees of Krishna, is because there is a philosophy, and the philosophy can be encapsulated pretty simple. Always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. That's pretty simple. Sometimes when people try to explain, well, what is yoga philosophy? They will give you volumes and volumes and volumes, but you'll never quite understand it because they themselves don't understand it. It takes a person who really understands something to really simplify it.
No doubt. And that can't be done when your mind is just cluttered, right? So he's saying you have to work hard to get this is a term he uses, get your thinking clean, right? Get your thinking clean. So,
like discernment.
Yeah, lucid thought. Yeah, clear lucid thought. Yeah, so that you can, one, for make good decision making, and two, for deeper perception into reality, to see beyond what most people see, to understand more what's happening in this world. Now, focus and simplicity, the simplicity is there because it helps the focus, right? The yoga is all about getting the mind focused, and he's saying, very rightfully, that when you get there, you can move mountains. And in one sense, the mountains that we need to move are internal mountains. Like we have mountains of attachments, mountains of petty grievances, mountains of misidentifications and misperceptions of what we need to be happy or who we even are. Big mountains to move, and they've been settled down in our awareness for lifetimes. So he's, so simplicity is one of those basic fundamental yogic principles. And he says it can be harder than complex because everywhere we turn, especially in today's society, I mean, it was hard enough back before advertising and, what to speak of television, movies, internet, all of that. Everywhere we turn, there's something telling us you would be happier if you just got this. You would be happier if you just did this. And every time you say, yeah, that does look like it will bring some happiness, the tricky thing is that it almost always, unless it's very simple, it comes with strings attached. It comes, you got to work harder to get it. Or once you do it, there's a cost to it, a cost in terms of your health, a cost in terms of your time, a cost in terms of the programming within your mind, the memories and the thoughts that go into your mind that just make it harder to settle it and get it focused. So simplicity means every time that calling comes, right? I see something, image comes through the eyes and it's pulling at my desires, saying, hey, don't you want that? The yogi says, actually, I think it'd be simpler to just let that go. And that's a beautiful art, of the yogi, to be able to make that. And you see, you and I think we can say that we know people that have that ability, and it's not like they're lacking anything in life. They're actually the ones that are, living a more meaningful life, a more fruitful life, a more dynamic life, a more fun life, a more happy life. But it's a little counterintuitive because the senses are calling, no, that's exciting. Try that.
Your world is distracting, isn't it?
Oh, big time.
So
Big time.
distracting.
Yeah.
But like we were saying last week, it's not even the distractions. It's like we don't even know there's a path. We're just
Yeah.
like looking for distractions.
Yeah.
We're going out there, distract me. I don't know what to do with my life. Please distract me. Get me into something.
Yeah. I've often shared, I think my kind of, Steve Jobs is saying focus and simplicity. And I always think kindness and simplicity, right? And to me, the simplicity takes care of the stuff that complicates our life.
Mm.
And the kindness takes care of the relationships that can complicate our life. Like if you're kind to everyone, you save yourself a ton of mental and emotional baggage.
Yeah.
If you're just kind to everyone.
That's where a lot of and that's where most of the pain is. It's really mental. I've been talking to students like this too. Like once we clear up the gross disturbances in our life, there's certain principles we follow practicing bhakti yoga. You stop intoxicating yourself. Intoxicants can wreck your life with drugs or alcohol or meat eating, and it clogs your consciousness and puts us in awkward situations and makes us regret what happened last night, etc. Once you get those out of your life, then your chanting becomes a little bit more powerful, and things will come in your life, people will come in your life, situations will come in your life where you're like, oh man, I can't believe this person did that to me. I can't believe this person said that. I can't believe. And then you got to understand that this is Krishna. These are not the person that said that or did that to you. This is Krishna tagging people to enter into your life, to do subtle cleansing, to do some psychic surgery.
To mess with your head.
To clean your head.
You're telling us Krishna's sending people to mess with our head, is what you're telling me. May I get that one down?
Sending people to mess with your head so you can adjust, because we're not going to adjust the universe. All we have to do is adjust our head. We're not going to be able to adjust everything so everything works as we want it to work. We're going to have to start to adjust our head and how we deal with people and how we treat people and how we hold on to hurt, betrayal, and people have acted cruelly and people have acted inappropriately. How am I going to deal with that? Krishna tags people. It's not even those people that's doing it to you. They've been tagged by Krishna to enter into your life for your personal edification.
Welcome them.
Well, and thank them. You must be sincere. You must be sincere to get them sent to you.
All right.
Next time someone drives you crazy, you go, oh, I guess I'm sincere. This chanting's working. Krishna, thank you. Thank you, Krishna. That's our mantra today. Thank you, Krishna. Things are going apparently south. This person enters your life, gets you a little disgruntled, ruffles your feathers. Thank you, Krishna. How can I grow? Thank you, Krishna. Okay.
There you go.
All right, sir. Continuing on.
You ready to get into the new chapter today?
Oh, yeah. Very excited. This is the good stuff. Narayanam.
That's it.
Try that again.
That one. Yeah.
This is called Prahlada instructs his demoniac schoolmates.
Ooh,
I don't think they're that bad. They just have bad.
Well, they're from demonic families, but they're good kids. They're good kids.
Kids are kids. Narayanam namaskritya naram shaivanarotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tatojayam mudirayat. Before he cited the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supremmost human being, to Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesha badreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki. By regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated. And loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Gyana Tamarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Midatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha I was born in the darkness of ignorance, and my teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 6, Text 1. Prahlada instructs his demoniac schoolmates.
Schoolmates, yeah. I was going to say maybe just a quick refresher here. What happened in the last chapter is, Prahlada a couple times got called before his father, Hiranyakashipu, the number one head demonic figure in the universe. And he was asked, what'd you learn in school? And both times he gave answers that either just directly glorified practices of developing love for Krishna or Vishnu, or kind of criticizing materialistic life and saying the only answer is to give yourself entirely to Lord Vishnu and his devotees. It wasn't that he was trying to ruffle Hiranyakashipu's feathers. He was just speaking the truth that he knew in a very innocent way. But the first time it was kind of like, that was awkward. The boy has been hearing from the wrong people. Let's straighten this out, And the second time he just was so furious that he said, kill him. Imagine that. Yeah. And they tried to kill him in many ways and nothing worked. So then eventually the teacher said, you know what? Okay, we've been trying to kill him. Somehow mystically he's not
Let's send him back to school. Let's send him back to school.
Let's just send him back to school. This is just a phase. It's just a phase. Let's take a deep breath. Let's step back and let's put him back in the educational system. And hopefully this will all just work itself out. But what happens is...
Let's kill him with our education.
Yeah, but what's going to happen is Prahlada is going to... Not only is he not going to get, reprogrammed in that school, he's going to become like the poison in the system. He's going to, again, with no ill intention, but he's just going to speak his truth to all his schoolmates and turn them all on to Bhakti. So
well, this is a huge takeaway. Actually, it's when you become very, very focused, or if you are very, very focused on your spiritual life, it affects everybody in your universe. You affect so he's going to go into school just, you being you, Prahlada being Prahlada.
just being him.
Just being him. He's going to go and he's going to change the hearts of all the other kids. And that's that's the potency of becoming connected to Lord Vishnu. And, we're reading it in a story, but it's happening to you too. You guys don't realize it, but you're getting serious. Those who are listening to this podcast on a regular basis, you're getting serious about your spiritual life, and people who have no interest in Bhakti, you're affecting them. And it's sometimes you're bringing them closer, and sometimes you're driving people out of your life. And this is what happens when you're constantly here, right? Shravanam Kirtanam. This was Prahlada's instructions. You're hearing and you're speaking about Lord Vishnu. And it acts as this, you become like this spiritual magnet, and all of a sudden, different people are getting drawn into your life. You're attracting a new community. And I was saying that before the show. I was like, on a regular basis, I say, I have great people in my life. And it's really from being focused on Krishna, hearing the Bhagavatam every day, and it draws people who are spiritually minded. And it also repels certain people. There's people in your life that aren't ready to fly as high as you're ready to fly. We shouldn't hate them, but they're just not ready to take off into the outer regions of space. And this is where Bhakti can take us. It takes us somewhere else. And so get ready for people getting drawn in, and get ready for people being like, you know what? You've gone too far. I can't do this.
Right. Now, one more thing about what we're about to hear.
Yeah.
Is yesterday we had this question about dharma, artha, kama, moksha, this kind of classic standard purushartha, this idea of this kind of gradual progression in life that one can make, and in the end, hopefully you've let go of everything and you find moksha. You free yourself of all your material desires and transcend the modes of nature and so on. And, there's some validity in the idea, for sure, that, one can pass through stages like that in life. But we spoke about this prema purushartha, that prema is the fifth, is really the real goal. And one could just focus on that. And if they do, they don't necessarily have to go through all the stages that were mentioned before. Now, what you can do is you can take each of those stages, still live them, but infuse them with bhakti. And that's like in one sense, a perfect, safe kind of path, you know?
Mm.
You know, you can be dharmic in life for Krishna, you know, you can earn in life for Krishna, etc. You know, even the fulfillment of your desires can be done in a way that's entirely harmonious with service to Krishna, etc.
In Kali Yuga, we don't necessarily take the normal, smooth, sattvic path to God. It's usually, you can, or it could be plagued with disaster, like I'm intoxicated.
Did you say
living
in
on
California?
No, in Kali Yuga, not California,
Oh,
which is
California.
Sometimes they're a little synonymous.
I thought you were going to break into the, like, because you said you don't necessarily go on a straight path, and you say, like, you take the highway 3 over to this.
In Kali Yuga, sometimes we come from this crazy background. People are like sleeping in the streets, intoxicated. They've given up everything for a drug of choice. And then all of a sudden they get touched with bhakti and like, you know what? That's over. I cut it. And so they missed all the dharma, artha, kama, moksha. And they're going like, I'm right. I just want Krishna. In Kali Yuga, it's different. But the Vedas teach a gradual path of surrender. But I find in America, oftentimes we're not so gradual. We're extremists.
But in the Bhagavad Gita, it says, forget what the Vedas are saying and surrender unto me now.
I get that, but that still is for the people going through. That is the ultimate goal, but I think it's still for people going through that gradual stage. And finally, Krishna saying, well, surrender all that now and just hop on the bus, Gus.
So you're advising people to wait until they're old to give their life to Krishna?
Not till you're old. Not necessarily till you're old. Until you get, I'm saying that's what the Vedas are recommending. But in Kali Yuga,
is that what you're recommending?
No, in Kali Yuga, people are coming from anywhere and realizing, like, I'm going to skip all those. I'm just going right to Krishna.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And, well, what we're going to hear now is Prahlada, is he's going to speak on that level. Raghu, are you with me? Over
yep.
Right there. You look just too entertained right now. I'm sorry. You look really happy on the chat board.
I'm happy. I'm a pretty happy guy, right, Mara? Mara says yes.
Yeah. Yes, you are. But Prahlada's message is going to be 100%, hey, right now, don't waste any time. You know what? There's very little time. He's talking to kids, like 5-year-old kids. He's going to say, we don't have much time. We got to get focused right now. Get focused on bhakti. Get focused on just giving everything. You know, giving your body, mind, words, heart, soul, giving it all now. Don't wait. Yeah. It's a powerful, it's like a pep talk. He's got like the kids around him, and it's like he's giving them a pep talk, like, let's not waste our lives, kids. Come on. Let's make the most of this. Let's not waste any time. Let's get focused and let's give ourselves entirely to God. This powerful speech he's about to give.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into this. Ready? This is text 1. Here's Prahlada speaking. One who is sufficiently intelligent. He's telling this to a bunch of 5-year-olds.
One who's sufficiently intelligent.
All the 5-year-olds are sitting there with their hands crossed. I was like, okay, stop playing with your blocks and your stuffed animals and just listen to here. Okay, so another 5-year-old steps in and says, okay, you guys, sit down, listen to me. One who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body. The human form of body. From the very beginning of life. Yeah. In other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service. Giving up all other engagements.
Giving it all the rest of
like even stuffed animals? Yes, even stuffed animals. The human body, my daughter's 18. She still can't give up her stuffed animals. The human body is most...
No, hold, just wait 1 second. So now he said, hey, right from the beginning, we got to... There's something special about having the human form of body. So don't wait. Right from the very beginning, let's practice bhakti. And now he's going to give some more reasons why one should do it now.
Well, you know, just to backtrack a little, because sometimes we've read these books for years, but some people are new to the show. The idea is in this human species, this is our chance. This is the gateway out of birth and death. Whereas the other species of life, they're acting on instinct.
Yeah, that's pretty much where he's going.
Yeah, you can't. So, and there's 8,400,000 species. Then there's a human species. When you get to a human species, don't screw around.
That's exactly what
we're off the leash, and our human life, when we're as other species, we're on a leash. We're acting by instinct, right? You slap a tiger in the nose, a tiger bites you. You know why? That's what tigers do. You don't slap tigers. They act on instinct. They're not going to be like, oh, Kostuba had a hard day. I'm not going to bite him. If he wants to hit me, that's okay. I'm understanding. No, you have to, what do you call it? Now we're off the leash. We're humans. You can do whatever you want. And how do we take that freedom? Oftentimes it's misused freedom. Gets you in trouble.
Okay, so he's going to kind of say that. You keep going, Rogue. Keep going.
One who's sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood to practice activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements.
It's like little Karuna.
Yeah. The human body is most rarely achieved.
That's a big point.
So it's a big point that we don't even get. I don't even get this one.
He's trying to drill it in. You know, if you counted all of the other species and how many there are of them, it's kind of like you're lucky to land in the human body when you finally get there. And as you were saying, you don't want to screw it up. It's rare. It's a rare opportunity.
If all this stuff is true, I'm just putting this out there. If all this stuff is true, and I'm not saying it is, but if it is, you've been various types of bugs and bees and hornets and birds of prey and sitting ducks and dolphins and tadpoles and, snapping turtles and then things that kill snapping turtles.
Sometimes really weird things like platypus.
You've been a platypus. Yes.
You've been a platypus.
So
you have. I have.
You've been doing time in these bodies, learning some lesson, whatever lesson platypuses are having. And now is your chance. They say, okay, now you're off the leash. You're a human. And what are we doing? We're going to watch the San Francisco 49ers games. Are you crazy? Come on.
You're wasting your time.
You're wasting your human life.
Get focused.
We're painting ourselves gold and red and dancing and writing touchdown on our chest, with our 12 other friends.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah. Is it just the 49ers or is it other teams as well?
Every team.
Oh, you have to avoid them all.
Paint their bodies in the color of their team. People are doing it in India. They're doing it with cricket. It's the same thing. It's like we're looking for distractions. We're off the leash. And we have no one, the leash isn't bad. A leash isn't bad. It helps control you. That's what intelligence is. Intelligence is supposed to be the leash for the living entity.
Because it's just like, say you're on a chariot and there are 5 powerful horses pulling it. And someone said, here, let's connect these reins so that you can control the horses. And you're like, oh, I don't want any leash. It's like, no, the leash isn't holding you back. The leash is getting those powerful horses under control so that you can direct this chariot where you want it to go. And that's what we're doing is we're leashing in the senses. That makes us free. Sure. The soul becomes free when the senses are brought under control. If the senses are not under control. I'm going to
bring back to my analogy but I do like your analogy.
Whoa, that was really
validation for your analogy. That's the classic Vedic analogy. But I'm liking this one about the leash because the Vedic teachings are the leash. And after a while, and a lot of us have fought the teachings of self-control. We fought the teachings of controlling your mind and your senses and your belly and your genitals. We fought it. Even though we know in our heart of hearts, I got to control this. And then all of a sudden, by hearing on a regular basis, we're like, okay, that actually makes sense. I'm going to follow. And then you're like the dog who's been trained to be off the leash. And there's certain dogs, not my dog, but there's certain dogs that you could just see they don't stray. They come right back. And when the master says, okay, come on, sit over here, sit next to me in the car. They're good dogs. And if I bring my dog in my car, roll down the window, that dog's jumping out the window. He's just like, that's the way. He's not trained. So we've been off the leash. We've been fighting Vedic authority. We've been fighting Vedic truth, which is only for our best interest. It's in my dog's best interest not to jump out of the pickup truck, but he'll still jump out. He just doesn't get it. So that's what we're doing by hearing. We're training ourselves just to be happy. We're training, and then you can go off the leash. It's okay, right? In the beginning stages of our bhakti, we have to be on a leash, and the leash is like.
So when do you get to be uncontrolled, Raghunath? When does that start?
No, it's not uncontrolled. It means it's woven into
You're controlled without the leash.
Yeah, it's woven into you. You're like, of course I'm not going to do that. There's a lot of people on the show that have never drank alcohol or never taken drugs or never done heroin, you know? And if I say, hey, you want some heroin? Which I won't say, but if I was to say that, they'll be like, no, I don't want that. Come on, you never tried it. It's great. People are doing it all the time. No, I'm not going to do it. I've heard about what it can do. There's certain people, they just don't go there. They just won't go there. They just won't do it. And because they can be off the leash, they can be around people doing heroin and be not into doing it.
That was okay, but I want to go back to my analogy because it was better. Just kidding.
I don't want your ancient analogy of a Greek and Roman gods driving a multi-horse chariot. I'm trying to update it for the future.
Okay, let's try to get through text 1 here.
Oh, I like what Laura Rubino says. We need electric collars. Sometimes we have bad pickers. That's been a topic this weekend.
No, we're gonna don't go into the bad pickers. We got to finish this verse here.
Well, it is. Well, but you get a bad picker. It's just like you're going. We were joking. Who were we with? We were joking that if there's a room full of men or women, you go right to the person who's got chaos, drama, addiction, bad habits. You sniff them out and go right to them. It's like as if they're calling you magnetically. Those are called broken pickers. Who's got one? Put it on the board.
We're still put it on the board. You don't have to put it
on the board. We know. Okay. Prahlada Maharaj. The human body is most rarely achieved, and although temporary, like other bodies, it is meaningful because in a human life, one can perform bhakti.
Okay.
Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection.
Nice.
It's nice, huh?
Now he's not gonna take his foot off the gas.
Slight amount.
Yeah. He's gonna keep pushing.
For example, you were at Govardhan Hill this morning and you're saying prayers and you're just like, that alone can save you. Who knows where that can direct you? Who knows how that can spin? Who knows how that can pivot you to a whole new direction in your life?
Precious moments, Raghunath. Precious moments.
You and me meeting 30 plus years ago. Who knows where that sacred meeting could bring us here? Holding hands together, looking at each other's eyes, hugging each other occasionally. You know, who would think that?
Hey, by the way, Mary, you still got Raghunath's face all fogged out here. You know, we need some.
That was a quick topic switch. We were looking at each other's eyes a moment ago.
It's just, well, I started looking at you more carefully when I did it. I was like, oh, he's all foggy. Yeah.
You know, she's trying to touch up my appearance to make me look like
Mary, you got to stop touching up Raghunath. Anyone look at the thumbnail from yesterday's show. I don't want to look like a
Russian bot. Bring my
you can see me.
Let me age gracefully.
And Raghunath looks like someone smudged his entire face out. Let's get it. We want to see Raghu.
Yeah. See me in all my beauty with all my crow's feet, my sags and my bags.
Have you done it yet? Yeah. Still looking foggy to me.
Maybe just got to clean the camera. Okay, come on. It's not about me.
All right. Mary, you work on that. Raghunath. Text number 2.
Don't get rid of my touch-up appearance. Text number 2. The human form of life affords one a chance to return home back to Godhead. We don't even get that.
No,
I don't even get that. I don't get that. I get that spiritual life is good because it makes me happier in this life. I get that I should control my senses. I get that I need to meditate and chant. I get that. I don't even get that there's a whole spiritual realm I'm going to go. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this for that.
It's about breaking out of the matrix right there, you know?
Break out.
Keep going.
One of my favorite songs from the 80s. Don't stop
Therefore, every living entity, especially in the human form of life,
must engage in devotional service to the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. This devotional service is natural because Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the most beloved, the master of the soul, and the well-wisher of all living beings.
Oh, sweet, huh? The master of the soul. He's the Atma Ishvara. He's the Suhrit. He's the best well-wisher and friend. He is Sarva Bhutanam Priya. He is the most beloved to everyone, to all living entities. That's who you connect with. That's the opportunity. He's a soulmate. He's the real soulmate.
He's the real soulmate. People talking about their soulmate. Come on.
All right. Text 3.
Prahlada Maharaj continued.
You know what, Raghunath?
What?
Here in text 3, you get kind of like a framework or it's just a whole nother way of looking at the world that most people will never come to on their own. But if a wise person can come and share them, what we're going to read right now, everybody, this could be just a game changer for you. If you think, you know what? I'm willing to give living like that a try. I'm willing to try to look at the world through that lens and see if it improves the quality of my life.
Let's see what he says. My dear friends of demoniac families, the happiness perceived with reference to the sense objects by contact with the body can be obtained in any form of life, according to one's past fruitive activities.
Okay, hold it right there.
5-year-olds, they must be like, what?
No, they're smart. So he's saying, you know what? This idea of finding happiness through connecting the senses with the objects of the senses, in all of those other forms of life, you have the opportunity to do that. So it could, if that's what you think life is all about, that's probably going to be the kind of body that you get in your next life.
Right.
If that's where you think you find satisfaction, meaning, happiness, etc. Now, this next line is a game changer.
Such happiness is automatically obtained without endeavor, just as we obtain distress.
Right there. So, he's saying we come into this life with a bag load of karma. And that karma is going to mean that we're going to get some happiness, we're going to get some distress. Basically, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he comments on this. He says, having obtained a human form, one should not endeavor for material happiness. He says, happiness and distress are the qualities of the body. Thus, by attaining a body, one attains both of these. We've got a human body. It means we're going to get happiness, like material happiness and material distress. They're going to come. My karmic, background is going to determine that I'm going to get both. So I don't endeavor for distress, but it comes.
Sure.
I don't have to waste my time doing ridiculous things to try to find happiness. That will come as well. Don't even need to try.
Me and Doyal were making this joke yesterday. Doyal Garanga was here. We officiated the wedding. He was the priest, and I was the officiator. But we were saying something like, yeah, go out and do something to make yourself happy. He's like, yeah, I'll go out and do something to make myself happy. I'll go rollerblading.
Oh, yeah.
Doyal went rollerblading, and he tripped, and he shattered his elbow and his wrist. So we were making up the idea of, we have an idea in the material world of how to be happy, but our karma has another plan for us. And sometimes we see people, they're like, there's nothing to do tonight. No one likes me. I'm going to stay home. And they have the best time of their life. And other times we've planned trips, vacations, parties, etc. And they're just nothing lives up to those expectations. They had a huge endeavor. We go on a cruise and there's a maritime disaster. That happens.
Right.
No one's planning.
Let's go on a
cruise
spoil
and hope that there's a maritime disaster.
Yeah. So why don't you read the commentary to this, Raghunath?
Ready? Text 3's commentary.
3. Yeah.
In the material world, in any form of life, there is some so-called happiness and so-called distress.
Doesn't matter. You're a platypus, whatever you are.
Yeah, it's going to be an alligator chomping at your wing. Platypuses have wings, don't they? Don't they have flipper wings?
They got bills. They got duck bills. I know that much.
They have duck bills, but not duck wings. They don't fly. They definitely don't fly. I thought they had wing flippers.
I think they have like duck feet too.
You know, like a flapper on a tortoise.
But anyway, Raghunath.
No one
commentary.
invites distress in order to suffer, but still it comes.
There you go.
Similarly, right? Doyal didn't invite that. He was just like, I'm gonna do something that
Makes me happy.
should make me happy. I'm gonna get out in the fresh air, skate around.
Karma said, you know what?
We got another.
You want to find happiness right now, but you do some suffering. That's what you're going to get, despite your endeavor.
Happiness. You're gonna feel free. You're gonna be floating around the park. And we love you, Doyal. Similarly, but still it comes. Similarly, even if we do not endeavor to obtain the advantages of material happiness, we shall obtain them automatically. This happiness and distress are obtainable in any form of life without endeavor. Thus, there is no need to waste time and energy fighting against distress or working very hard for happiness. Our only business in the human form of life should be to revive our relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus become qualified to return home back to Godhead. Here we go. The main thing is to keep the main thing, the main thing. That's the main thing. Revive your spiritual life. It's been dormant. It's there. It's within you. It's been sleeping.
That's where the real happiness lies, not the material up and down stuff.
No.
The real eternal stuff.
I had a girlfriend whose father made so much money, and then he just lost everything.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. And then some people have no money, and they just get an inheritance and get money. It's as if it almost appears like it's out of your hands. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Raghunath. So in any case, this is maybe like this is a takeaway right here. This is something that every one of us hearing this today could say, let me try to imbibe this deeper into my mind, deeper into my understanding, deeper into my heart. You know what? Maybe I should stop trying so hard to find happiness through external things and trying so hard to avoid distress through external things. Maybe I can simplify things so that I can be more focused, right? Back to Steve Jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't have to work hard to find happiness. I don't have to work hard to try to avoid distress. I can accept that they're both going to come in and out of my life. I can learn to accept that, and I can learn to focus on my goal, get really focused on it. And you know what? I'm not going to miss out on anything. As a matter of fact, I'm going to find something that I've been missing out on finding lifetime after lifetime after lifetime.
I'm going to keep going with this purport because I like it.
All right.
Our only business in the human form of life should be to revive our relationship with the personality of Godhead and thus become qualified to return home. Material happiness and distress come as soon as we accept a material body. Yep, that's what you signed up for once you get a body.
That's what you get.
Regardless of what form. Human form, platypus form. We cannot avoid such happiness and distress under any circumstance. The best use of human life, therefore, lies in reviving our relationship with the Supreme Lord Vishnu.
There you go.
Umba.
Nice stuff. The little boy Prahlada just putting out some good stuff here.
Okay.
Read another?
Yep. Text
4.
4. Endeavors merely for sense gratification or material happiness through economic development, rollerblading, are not to be performed, for they result only in loss of time and energy with no actual profit. I'm going to read that
So
again.
he's speaking against the Dharma, Artha, Kama. He's just like, no. We're not going to waste any time. Forget the gradual thing. And he's going to start to do the math in a few verses about just
the
how
math gets
little
scary. The math gets scary when you
it's
start.
not all that much time, actually.
There's not that
you
much
take
time
out all
in
the
this
time
human
you
life.
sleep. Well, boy, you lost, at least a third of your time right there. You take
Raising
out your
kids,
childhood, take out
your own
elderly.
childhood, raising your own kids.
Oh, yeah.
Then
Just
there's
taking care of your
old age.
body. Yeah, he's going to do the math. That's coming. Probably tomorrow we'll get there.
Okay.
Endeavors merely for sense gratification.
I'm going to read that again. Endeavors merely for sense gratification or material happiness through economic development are not to be performed, for they result only in a loss of time and energy with no actual
profit.
If one's endeavors are directed towards Krishna consciousness, one can surely attain the spiritual platform of self-realization. There is no such benefit from engaging oneself in economic development. Wow. There goes. Fire your business coach. Fire you.
And one thing though, it's not necessarily saying fire your business coach or give up your business, but it's saying stop doing your business for the purpose of material happiness.
Mm-hmm.
You could do your business you could transform your business into your practice of devotional service, into your practice of bhakti yoga.
I like that. You flipped it. You just flipped it, didn't you?
Well, yeah, not exactly flipped it, because it's not going against the grain of what he just said, but it's just another way of doing what he's suggesting. Prahlada is going to go on to be a king, right? He's a boy, and he's going to go on to be a king and rule for a very long time. He didn't just renounce everything, but from childhood through his entire life, even when he was a king and ruling, he wasn't doing it to try to suck some kind of material enjoyment out of it. He was doing it as devotional service.
Text 4. Here we go. Is our last one. Text
That's
5.
the one you
It's
just
our
read.
last one. Text 5 is our last one. Therefore, while in material existence.
I'll tell you what, Roga, hold on to 5, because we want to read some of the purport for this one tomorrow.
Okay.
Let's
Let's switch the camera to Mara.
flip it.
Mara, give us some takeaways that we can bring with us in the course of our day, so we also don't develop economic development.
Yeah, great. I'll prevent all economic development here. If you really understand it, you can simplify and explain it.
Okay.
Move the internal mountains of attachment and petty grievances.
Move it.
Pull the trigger.
Kindness saves a ton of mental baggage.
Yes, it really does.
Krishna sends people to mess with our heads.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
A lot of people. Sometimes I feel like
Krishna's all over me today.
It's related to the next one, which is make thank you, Krishna, your mantra today.
Thank you, Krishna. Love that.
When you become very focused on your spiritual life, it affects everyone.
Everyone around you.
Yeah, it really does.
Give up your stuffed animals and get serious about bhakti.
No time to lose.
No time.
Let our intelligence leash our senses and mind.
Time up.
Tie it down.
Tie it down.
Vishnu is our real soulmate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you looking for a soulmate? I can help. It's an arranged marriage. I'm going to arrange everyone's marriage to Lord Vishnu.
Our only business is to revive our spiritual life. And
I married Vishnu just for this, just to get a good passport. The passport to Vaikuntha. What do you think of that?
And
passport. And when you get to the human species, don't screw around.
oh, yeah.
Don't screw around. You know who I'm talking about today. You know who you know who you are. Screwing around there. A lot of you guys know it. He knows. I know what you're doing. Cut it out. Life is short. Stop screwing around in South Korea or Uruguay or Connecticut. I know what you're doing. Or Brooklyn, screwing around in Brooklyn. No. And you guys over at the Hilton over there.
Nashville.
Don't screw around in the Hilton.
Maybe over there in
Penthouse
Nashville.
suite there. In Nashville, screwing around, taking your cold baths, bullying others to taking their cold plunges. The cold plunge bullies down there. They even bullied Bobby Marchand to get it. The little Vata Bobby Marchand. She almost left her little frame. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Festive Wisdom of the Sages wedding.